So the other day I had to go into the post office. I had ordered boots from out of the country and I forgot that sizes run different in different countries. So I had to send it in as a return and order a new pair. I go into the post office and this is like 12 p.m. on a Monday. It shouldn't be that busy, but there was a pretty long line. I go into the post office. I wait for like 10 minutes. The line's going by pretty quickly. It was like a pretty long line. I get to maybe I think I'm either next in line or I'm second next in line. And there's three receptionists, and the receptionist in the middle is getting just slammed by this one dude. I kinda want to stay out of it, but this dude was getting to the point where he was raising his voice where it became everyone's business. The one thing that he said that like really stuck to me, he said, "Come on, I thought you were faster than that." He was trashing on how the pace of the workers when look, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, they were going at a perfectly fine rate. The long line that we had, I was only there for like 10 minutes and I was already at the front of the line. um Even I just don't understand why people are so incompetent and impatient with service workers and drive-through workers and fast food workers and front desk members. It just never made sense to me, man. It took every ounce of my being to not just step in and just be like, hey, man, you leave them alone. You know what I mean? Because it's just, I've had so many experiences myself where I'm trying my best and people just have no patience. Or some people walk in looking for problems. You can be doing a perfect job. People will still find something to point at and say, hey, do better. And I just don't understand it. It's not in a friendly like tap on the shoulder, hey man, you can improve here. It's always a dude, you fucking suck and I'm gonna let you know it. I just don't understand why there's so much negativity and why people feel the need to express that. But yeah, back to the post office workers. When that guy was dogging on them and saying, "Oh, you guys aren't going fast enough," I didn't say anything just because I know if you don't poke the bear, if you don't antagonize them, eventually whatever they're there to do will be done and they'll leave. That's just best case scenario. If I had said, "Hey dude, quit being a dick," he would have started yelling at me and he would have thrown a temper tantrum and it just would have started this whole thing. So we all kind of just had to keep our silence. When he did eventually leave, I just kept thinking in my head how many stories I have. Some of them are pretty boring and pretty basic, but recently I've had a lot of them where it was just like, dude, what the fuck is going on? Like, really do feel like sometimes God sends in the worst type of person just to see how well or how patient I can be, if that makes sense. I feel like he tests me with some of the people that come into my job. Right now, I work front desk at a gym, and it's a really, really easy, cool job. I get to talk to a lot of the members. It's a graveyard shift, so I'm the only employee in the building. The only thing that sucks is the specific location that I work at. It's a very, how do I say this? It's not like it's not Gotham, right? I don't work in a crime-ridden city, but there are definitely it's Las Vegas. There's a lot of crackheads. There's a lot of weird people. There's a lot of just a lot of really, really annoying, incompetent people. And sometimes there are just borderline crimes that happen. Sometimes I do feel like Batman. I know it's not Gotham, but I do feel like Batman sometimes. How many, at least once a week, I have to report someone's car got broken into or straight up stolen in the parking lot. People have their bags stolen. There's a few times where women have to walk up to me and say, "Hey, this guy's making me uncomfortable," and I have to go talk to the guy like, "Hey, man, what the fuck are you doing? You're a 40-year-old man. Why are you talking to women like that, man?" This one lady asked me to walk her to her car because of just how uncomfortable this one motherfucker was making her feel. And I don't know, man. It kind of breaks my heart the precautions that the company makes me go through, the procedures that the company makes me go through, because I'm just one of those people that have a zero tolerance to people who harass women, people who harass children, and people who harass men. You know what I mean? I just can't stand it. My first reaction is to get very, very aggressive. Like, dude, get the fuck out. I don't care what you have to say. Get the fuck out. But it's a company and they are scared of getting sued, so the precautions that they make me go through are I have to give them a warning, I have to give them another warning, and if they get reported again, I can't throw them out. I can't tell them otherwise. I just have to say, hey, you need to leave right now, or I'm going to have you escorted out the building. And what that means is I'm going to call the cops, right? Which cops take 40 minutes to get here, dude. This is 2 a.m. I work graveyard shifts. Again, this is 2, 3 a.m. at night. Cops are going to take over an hour to get here. By the time that they do get here, the problem's going to be solved already. The guy is going to be, he's going to be gone already, or, it just takes too long. I wish that I just had the right to just grab them by their collar and throw them out myself. But yeah, I mean, it just really breaks my heart that I feel like less of a human instead of being able to defend people in the way that I feel is right. I just I feel like RoboCop, man. I feel like, oh, the company's procedures are this. You know what I mean? It fucking sucks. But, at the very least, I'm able to do something rather than nothing, I guess. But more particular examples of customer service stories that I have, I think this is probably the worst one that I've been through, and it was the most recent. This happened, it's Tuesday, August 13th, so this happened last Monday. We have 4 handicap spots at the front of the building, obviously, because some people are handicapped and some people just need that reserved spot so life can be easier for them, obviously, right? I mean, I don't think I've ever been to a public place where they didn't have handicap spots. We only have 4. And all the time, I don't know if the company that I work for is partnered with a tow trucking company, or if the tow truck company just loves this particular spot because of how often people park there when they're not supposed to. But all the time, cars get repoed, cars get towed because they're not supposed to be in the handicap spot. So this one lady walks up to me and she says, "Oh, my car is gone." And because of how often this happens, there's only two possible solutions, right? Because cars don't just disappear. The 2 possible solutions are it got stolen or it got towed. So I always ask first, like, as much as this sucks to hear, but it's definitely best case scenario, you'd much rather it get towed than stolen. So she walks up to me, she says, "Hey, my truck is gone." And I tell her, "Okay, is there any possibility that it would have got towed?" And usually that means, have you been paying monthly, or are you going to get repoed, or were you parked in a handicap spot? But all I asked her was, is there any possibility it got towed? And instead of answering my question, she immediately just started giving me attitude and yelling, "Why is that a possibility?" And I didn't say this to her, but in my mind, I'm like, well, that's why I'm fucking asking. Like, I don't know what. And I say to her, "Oh, were you parked in a handicap spot?" And she said, "Yes, I was." "Okay, ma'am, was your sticker visible? Was your plate visible? Was your card visible?" Because when you park in a handicap spot, you have to show that. That's the whole point. When you go through the legality of getting the handicap plates or the card or the sticker, whatever you have, why would you go through that whole process and not put it up? That just doesn't make any sense to me. But it happens pretty often, I guess. So I asked this lady, was your sticker visible? And she said, "No, but it's in the car." And I said, "Okay, it most likely got towed then." And she started yelling at me, "Why is that a possibility? The sticker was in the car." "Ma'am, it has to be visible." "But it's in the car." "I understand that, ma'am, but it has to be visible." And she starts, starting to guilt trip me. She's like, "Oh, how could you let this happen? You're sitting at this front desk on your ass all day doing nothing." And I'm trying to explain to her, "Ma'am, I'm not allowed to leave this front desk. I'm the only employee in the building. If I leave this, shit's going to get stolen. We got clothing, food. We got all this important delicate information up front. Like, if I leave, shit's going to get stolen. This is not the best area. It's my job. I'm not allowed to leave the front desk." And also trying to explain to her that the gym that I work at, the whole front wall is tinted windows. And when it's not daytime out, right? When the sun is down and it's just the night sky, the tinted windows reverse. So people on the outside can see inside, but people on the inside cannot see outside. So even if I was allowed to leave the front desk and like stop any tow trucks that I see, I would have to physically go outside to check. You want me to stay outside the entire time looking for tow trucks because you didn't put your fucking sticker up? Be so real, dude. That's not realistic. I can't see outside, and even if I could, I cannot go outside. I was trying to explain this to her, but obviously she starts freaking out and blaming everything on me. She tells me, oh, she had her wallet, her phone, other stuff that I forgot, but obviously those are the two. I think her keys, maybe. I don't think that's a possibility though, because why the fuck would your keys be in there? She was telling me all this stuff, and I was like, I'm sorry, ma'am. Like, if it got towed, like, I have a phone number that you can call. You can use the phones that we have up here. I'll let you use them. Again, she starts yelling at me. Well, why don't you fucking call them for me? Since this is your problem or blah, blah, blah. Whatever she said to me. I forgot what she said, but she kept yelling at me that I need to call them for her property. It eventually got to the point where I was like, you know what? I just want you to get out of here. So sure, I'll make the phone call on your behalf. So I ring up the phone, and it's usually this one company. I won't say the company's name. But I called them up. They're like, what are you looking for? And I said, a Ford F-150 at this location. And he said, oh, is that the gym? Because, it's a very popular spot for this particular company. I've done this a few times. So I say, yes, it's the gym. And he said, yeah, we just picked up that truck. And I'm like, okay, awesome. So I hand the phone to the lady, and I'm looking at her. I didn't say this to her, but I'm looking at her, and I'm like, you should have had the phone the entire fucking time. And when I go to pass her the phone, I see she's on her personal iPhone. I'm like, bitch, you just told me that your phone was in the car. So not only are you giving me attitude and I'm your only hope to finding your truck, now you're lying to me. You're causing this big ass scene. Like, now she's just starting to piss me off. And I understand, like, I'm trying my very, very best to be understanding. Your truck got towed. I mean, even though it is 100% your fault, I'm trying my best to understand. I know you're like under a lot of pressure here. That's fine. I'll keep my composure for your sake. She gets on the phone and she just starts screaming at the dude on the other line. I don't know how he didn't just hang up on her. But up until this point, I know I was trying to be understanding, but I was just so filled with rage because I just hate it when people scream at me and blame me for shit. And I'm like, dude, I'm your only hope. I know that you're in a bad situation, but I'm the only person that's going to help you. Why are you getting mad at me? You know I'm not the one that towed your fucking truck. Why are you getting mad at me? Me and you are a team right now, whether you like it or not. My blood's just boiling, and I'm telling myself, dude, just one more thing. I had like just a terrible month at this job. A lot of weird people came in, a lot of bad people came in. Dude, just one more thing. Give me one more reason not to kick your ass. Thankfully, again, this is just one of those moments where I just have no choice but to believe that coincidences aren't real, but God's blessings are. Because one of my favorite gym members come in. His name is, I won't say his name, but I'll just say his name is Chad. He's this tall, older member that comes in. He's just full of wisdom and always positive, always has something good to say. I absolutely love seeing him, and I just bask in his presence every time he comes in. But while she's screaming on the phone, Chad comes in, and I'm like, oh, thank God. So while she's screaming on the phone, he kind of just walks past her and just like, okay, I guess, just stuff happens, I guess. And we start talking a little bit. And while we're in the middle of conversating, I'm kind of like calming down because I have this thing where if I'm around peers, I'll start acting more natural and more normal. If I'm by myself, I'm kind of aggressive when people are aggressive towards me. I kind of match energy, you know what I mean? So if someone's being an asshole to me, I'm going to be an asshole to them. When Chad walks in, he's being nice to me, I'm being nice to him. So I'm more of a peer kind of guy. So I'm just talking to Chad, and we're, just having a normal talk, like, oh, how'd you sleep? How's your day? How you feeling? What are you working on today? And in the middle of it, the lady screams, "Go fuck yourself," to the phone, and she throws it at my shoulder. Like, it hits my shoulder. And I turned to her, and I was just boiling with rage. Again, very, very thankful that Chad came in, because if he wasn't there, that would have made me go ballistic, and that's when I would have snapped. I wanted to attack this woman for being such a cunt. But thankfully, Chad was there. I didn't want to look bad in front of this guy. And he actually, like, I've never heard this guy yell, but even he, like, looked at her, and while she was storming out of the building, he yells at her, "Now that's just unnecessary." And he's just such a classy guy, so that doesn't seem like much, but seeing him even go slightly negative was such a massive impact. You know what I mean? I've never heard this dude say anything negative about anyone or anything. But the fact that he was willing to just say something and stick up for me in some way, that meant a lot. She storms out, slams the doors, and me and Chad just keep talking. And he was like, "What's going? Like, what was that?" I told him the whole story, and again, he doesn't say anything negative. But when I was talking to him and I told him that story, he goes, "Oh, well, you know what? Well, frick her." I just start laughing like, "Frick her, yeah, man, hell yeah." So the day goes on as normal. He goes to work out. I got like 10 minutes left of work, so I'm just ready to clock out, get my workout in, and go to bed. She walks back in through the doors, and I'm just like, I can feel myself, just I palm my forehead like, dude, what in the world are you still doing here? She walks in just to continue screaming, right? She walks in and she starts yelling at me. "I'm going to lose my job. I can't, there's no way that I have no transportation left. Why would you not stop the tow truck?" She just starts like going ballistic with all these questions. And again, this, like, when she starts asking all these questions and I see like what her situation is, I'm able to calm down. I'm able to, like, okay, Caden, try your best to understand her position. So I try, like, while she's yelling and asking all these questions, I very calmly just, "I understand. I completely understand. I know, I understand." And while I'm saying that, she then starts pointing her finger and cursing at me more. She says, "Shut the fuck up. You don't fucking understand me. If you understand me," she said this is word for word. "If you understand me, why are you so fucking calm?" And when she said that to me, that's when I was like, okay, I don't give a fuck what she's going through. I don't give a fuck. I still very calmly, but I remember very, very particularly when she asked me that question, I felt my fingers and my palms tingling. I felt the boiling adrenaline rage. I just couldn't stand still. My fingers and my palms were twitching on my sides. Like, I was just standing there like an NPC, right? But I felt my hands just shaking with fucking rage. When she asked me that question, I very calmly, I said, "Because it's my job to be calm." Little did she know how fucking badly I wanted to just snap and say, "You fat bitch, get the fuck out. This is all your fault. I'm trying to help you. You're a fucking stain on this earth. You have no family. You have no friends. You go home. Your dog doesn't like you. Your kids don't like you. God forbid you have fucking kids." You know what I mean? I just wanted to just explode on her. But thankfully I was able to keep my calm and just say, "Because it's my job to stay calm." She continues yelling at me and saying all this crazy shit, and it gets to the point where she just starts slamming shit. She starts wrecking stuff. I don't know what they're called, but we have little plastic paper holders. I don't even know what they're called. I'll put it up on the screen right now. I don't know what they're called, but we have like 3 of those just so we can get like news out. Every time someone comes into the gym, they can read it like, "Oh, cool, I didn't know that was going on." Or if like the pool is down, we would have a paper right there that says, hey, the pool is down. So every time someone comes in, that's the first thing that they see. And that's how we just spread news rather than email and text message. We have like 3 of those there. And she smacked one of them so hard it flies over over the monitor, but it hits it just at a perfect amount where she hits it so hard and it tips the monitor, it shatters and it goes all over my arm. I didn't bleed or anything and none of it got stuck to my skin, but just feeling like the little pricks of the shattered plastic hitting my arm, I went around the front desk. I got in her face and I said, again, very calmly, but very sternly, I said, you need to leave. I know this sounds like some, oh, you're such a tough guy kind of story, but I've never really, really actually snapped at someone. And when I left the front desk and got in her face and told her you need to leave, I was praying to God, please fucking hit me. Please push me, spit on me, give me a reason. Give me a legal fucking reason to put my hands on you. Because you throwing the phone at me, not good enough in my book. You shattering this plastic thing all over me, not good enough in my book. So I got in her face and I was just saying to myself, please give me a fucking reason to put my hands on you. No, I'm not leaving. You need to call your manager. You need to call the police. And she walks away. We have couches at the front desk towards the exit doors. She goes sitting on the couch and I yell at her. I didn't yell at her, but again, very calmly but sternly. Is that what you want me to do? You want me to call the cops? She says yes. I'm like, okay. Grit my teeth and just go to the front desk again. Call the cops. And I've been in this situation before. I call the cops. Hey, this is the building. I need you to escort this person out. Hang up. 10 minutes later, the lady's going to leave. And then I have to call the cops again. Sorry for wasting your guys' time. She left. And that's exactly what happened. But yeah, that it's not like the most entertaining story, but that was the closest I've ever been to just... I remember telling myself I'm ready to get fired because I know how American companies are. It doesn't matter what the reason is. You do not get in a physical fight with customers or members. I remember in my head, I was thinking, I'm ready to get fired. This is going to be so fucking worth it. Looking back on it, of course it wasn't worth it. But in the time where I felt my fingers tingling and there was so much adrenaline and I just wasn't thinking straight. I was so ready to get fired. I was so ready to I really wanted her to just poke at me and I can just fucking punch her right in her fat nose, dude. Thankfully, that didn't happen. I think that was the worst story that I could possibly give you guys. The rest of these, they're all gonna be pretty normal stuff, I'd say. Well, actually, there was this one time. I don't know how often people get threatened at their job, but there was this one member that came in, and they come in and they say, hey, my app isn't working, because normally members, they can sign in on their app, scan in, and then just walk right in, so we don't have to like check in people with their phone numbers or fingerprint scans or anything like that. People can just come in on their app, scan, and then you'll be all set. This one member comes in and they go, hey, my app won't let me sign in anymore. I was like, okay, and like, no problem. This stuff happens all the time. Maybe it's a Wi-Fi issue. Maybe it's a password issue. Let's solve it, right? I ask for their phone number. I type it in and I see, oh wow, look at that. Your membership is canceled. And I thought that was really weird because I could have swore I saw you yesterday. This is a story that's happened maybe a month ago. It happened a while ago. I was like, oh, that's so weird. Like, it says your membership is canceled. And while I tell them that, I click on their account and I go in their notes and it explains the whole situation. Basically what happened is during the day, this member came in the afternoon. I don't remember what time, sometime in the afternoon, and they brought in their daughter because they were told that they can bring in a guest, but they were also told the guest has to be over the age of 18. This member claimed that they were never told that, so they brought in their daughter, who was I think they were 14. I think they were a kid, dude. So they were like, "Oh, what do you mean I can't bring in my daughter?" There was a little bit of confrontation. I don't know what exactly happened, but the notes said that the member got very, very mad and they screamed, "Cancel my membership," or something like that. They said, "Cancel my membership and F this place," or something. And then they storm out. That's what the notes said, right? So fast forward to tonight, the member's right in front of me. I click on their account. I read that note, and the member's telling me, "Oh yeah, I told them to cancel my membership, but I didn't think that they were going to." And I told them things happen. This is what I told them. I said, "Oh, it's okay. Things happen. If you want, you're all good to work out today. Just be sure to call sometime tomorrow between these hours when a manager is in to like reinstate your account." Before I can finish my sentence, they start screaming, "I didn't want my membership to be canceled. Are you serious? I'm so tired of this place screwing me over." And again, I very calmly was like, "I understand. Believe me, I understand. Things happen." And for whatever fucking reason, it just goes from level 0 to level 100. The dude like leans in the front desk and he goes, "You know what? Some people die for things like this." And they immediately turn around, storm out, and push the door so hard it breaks the fucking hinge. And again, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm just gritting my teeth. I'm like, dude, some people die for things like this. No, people don't die for things like this. But I'll tell you what, some people die for saying shit like that. That's the only thing that was running in my head. I was just like, dude, why are people so comfortable being such hard asses on customer service workers? Because you know that we're not going to do anything about it. If we do something about it, we're going to get fired. Not in this economy. We can't afford to get fired. You know what I mean? I wasn't close to like saying anything back or challenging that guy, because once he stormed off, I was like, oh, okay, well, that was that. I definitely did feel the steam coming through my ears, but you know, I'm glad I didn't say anything because that especially wouldn't have been worth it. It did piss me off though, like just how people are so comfortable being massive douchebags. It makes perfect sense to me. If I say, "Hey man, cancel my membership," and it gets canceled, I'm not gonna be pissed at that. You know what I mean? Like, I think that makes perfect sense. Maybe I'm the dumbass here, but that makes perfect sense to me. If I ask for something to be done and it gets done, I'm not gonna question why it was done. That's simple math to me. But you know, maybe I'm the crazy one. I have a whole list of other customer service stories that I want to tell. I just ranted on for way too long. I didn't know 2 stories was going to take 20 minutes. I don't want this to be an hour-long video. I'm probably going to end it here, and I'm most likely going to make another video just because why not? This is my first time just talking into a mic and kind of venting. I really did enjoy it. It was really fun. I hope you guys enjoyed listening. If you guys made it this far, I really, really do appreciate you. I appreciate you guys for listening. I hope you guys stick around for more. Let me know what you think of the video. And, I mean, if you guys have stories as well, please share them. I'd absolutely love to hear them. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time.